I don't think anyone saw this one coming, but it looks like they're trying to send a message. Look into their eyes. They're laser focused. They're playing as if this game is tied.
Trey Burke against the former MVP. And a whistle.
Timing was just a tad bit off.
Off the mark on the first free throw. Knocks down the second after missing the first. Rose. Rebounds pulled down by New York. Neely Keenan into the front court. His guys down big. Knocked loose. Wolves have it. Just inside the arc. At the buzzer. First quarter is complete. The Timberwolves enjoying the advantage. Ed Cohen, Jay Williams with you as we get things started here in the second quarter. New York in control of the basketball.
Got him.
Covington to Wiggins. He gets it.
Well, they have such great flow to their offense this evening. The ball isn't sticking to one player individually. It's moving around the perimeter, and it's zipping. They're playing with a special cohesiveness.
Gets to the basket and scores.
There you go. I like seeing scoring coming from unlikely sources.
Rose into the front court. His guys holding the big lead. Fires the three. Derrick Rose still a sight to see. Well defended. He finds a way to knock it down.
Man, you making people dance out there? I see you with the footwork.
Knocked loose. Cantor. To the rim. Lays it up and in.
Woo, did you see that? Eyes to the rim, and the rest was all net.
Rose to Covington. Fires the three. Oh, he couldn't get it to go. Moutier with it up top. Looking to make something happen. Count it. No and one. There was some contact there.
I wasn't necessarily sure which way that PNR was going, but I guess neither was the defense. That makes two of us.
Derrick Rose. That's three now on 4 shots.
You see, you can't actually get mesmerized by the ball. You actually have to focus on the dribbler's belly button. I know that may sound cheesy, but trust me, he can't go anywhere without his core.
Count the basket. 2 more points in the paint.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here, because that was not an easy look.
Rose. Not sure what that was all about. It's no good. Mixing things up. Hockey line substitutions. Both teams making changes. Burke with it. He'll run the offense. Hardaway matched up with the former Wildcat. Knicks able to recover. Tim Hardaway Jr. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot.
From somebody who loved to score a lot himself. Defensively, if you are guarding me in a parallel position, I can have whatever I want when I want. You have to force this guy to go one direction, make him go towards his weak hand, and then contest that shot.
Burke with it. Trailing by 14. Now ready to shoot at the line.
Smart play to rip through the extended arm of the defender. That will get you to the free throw line every time.
Trey Burke, a couple of free throws on the way. Shooting 50%. Some yes, some no in this contest. And fails to hit them both. Hits the first, misses the second. Teague with it up top. His team on top by 13. Nothing going here on that drive. Yes, Andrew Wiggins. He's now 5 for 6.
Ed, sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
New York Knicks basketball. Trey Burke, defended by Towns. to Cantor. Oh, big finish at the rim. This is becoming a runaway.
They're getting to the rim at will, probably because we're watching Matador defense. You probably want to get in the way of your defender if they keep trying to attack the rim.
Hardaway. That's what you come to expect. Your best players making baskets.
That's dangerous. A little hezzy cross and knockdown. Lots of options going to open up as the game unfolds.
To Teague. And one. Towns got his protein in today. He's going to the line for a chance at a three-point play.
And I know there's so much excitement about the play, but everybody looks at the player. More people need to pay attention to the guy at the end of the bench, the strength and conditioning coach, because this kid's been putting in the time and effort every day in the weight room.
Big, pick it up. Big, pick it up.
To Kevin Knox. Saric with the rejection.
Ed, that's light work for a guy with his ability.
Teague with the basketball. His guys hold a commanding lead.
The assist from
Knicks with the basketball. And counted at the rim.
Ed, I have a rule. If you're 6'9" or taller, I don't want to see you jelly it. I don't want to see any kind of weird spin or English on the ball. Just dunk it. Keep it simple, please.
Short jumper won't go down.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
Teague to Towns. Karl Anthony Towns. Can't ask for much more. He's perfect. 5 for 5 from the field.
Well, when you play for each other and not just for yourself, that's when great things happen. You essentially lose yourself in what the team is trying to accomplish. It's called unselfish basketball. And there's nothing more beautiful than rewarding your teammate with a nice pass and letting them finish for 2 or 3 points.
Has a look. Not that time.
You know, Ed, everybody gives so much credit to the guy who contested the shot, but there's no way he's in that position without the communication of the backbone of the defense. When you have a guy back there who can block shots and tells you to apply more pressure, you know you're in a safe place.
And he knocks it down, Jay.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Now a timeout here for the Timberwolves as they'll talk things over here in the second quarter.
into the game for the Knicks. Number 1.
Teague to Towns. Nice pass to get things going.
I'm not sure that wasn't an offensive foul, but take it when you can get it.
Moutier into the front court. Counting down toward a minute to go in this first half.
2 points. The assist from
Teague with it up top. Under a minute to go before halftime. Gets a look. Can't hit.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning the ankle on that landing.
Tim Hardaway Jr. 3 for 3 in this first half.
Tim Hardaway Jr. epitomizes what it is to be a Knick. As someone who grew up in the tri-state area, you're used to seeing guys like Oakley, John Starks play with that passion, play with that fire. Tim Hardaway answered the bell, especially last year, doing his thing right after Kristaps Porzingis went down before All-Star break.
Strong finish that time from Emmanuel Mudiay.
Again, Ed, if you made it to this level, you're capable of doing things that normal humans could never do, even if you're not known for it.
Wiggins. This guy's a handful. Andrew Wiggins, well defended, still able to score.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Deep three at the buzzer. First half comes to an end as the Timberwolves enjoy a nice cushion so far.
The Timberwolves are feeling comfortable at the halfway mark. Clearly, the number of three-pointers these guys scored in the first half was incredible. And if they can keep that up, it's going to be tough to keep that team down. Have a look at the leading scorers for the Minnesota Timberwolves. The Knicks are down at halftime.
Game track. Player of the half.
Andrew Wiggins most definitely deserves to be player of the half for the way he distributed the ball. It was an excellent display of court vision and solid passing.
Game track. Defense.
The Minnesota Timberwolves are exhibiting some great defense. They're refusing to let shooters get comfortable and showing great anticipation in the passing lanes.
Player of the half.
Andrew Wiggins and his court IQ were on display as he delivered the ball.
Who was cold?
Forget cold. This guy will be happy to be lukewarm at this point. He can't seem to get anything going. Here are the top plays.
Number 2. Number 1.
And with that,
First half, very one-sided. What will the second half bring? We'll find out as we're underway. The possession lies with New York. Mudiay. Good look that time, but off the mark. Teague with the basketball. The advantage is 13 points. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. It's rebounded by Vonleh. Mudiay with it up top. The deficit now up to 13. The pass set it all up.
And when the ball gets the defense rotating from side to side, you're bound to find opportunities for each other.
To Towns. Got it.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ball game.
Able to convert inside.
There you go, finally. Shoot your shot.
Teague with it up top. His guys lead here early stages, third quarter. To Covington. Here's a chance from long range. That's off the side of the rim, no good.
Just because you're an elite shooter doesn't mean you need to shoot the ball every possession. Maybe give a head fake, crack into the defender, get to the free throw line, see the ball go in the hole.
Knocked loose. Count the basket. A lot of contact. No foul.
Just wait a second, Ed. Wait 1 second. Can we go back to the play before this great play that we just saw? Just because you have a bad offensive possession, you can't allow that to go down and reciprocate itself on the defensive end. One bad play does not make two bad plays. You have to bounce back. That's how you play this game.
To Wiggins. Trying to cash in. Second effort. Basket's good on the follow. Way to stay with it.
Hey, one of the things I hear all the great teams say in the huddle, they say 1, 2, 3, no mercy. Now it's time for you to go even harder on the defensive end.
Slams it down.
That's what I'm talking about. Nice finish. It's all business.
Now whistle as Minnesota's going to take the timeout as their coaching staff wants to talk things over here in this third quarter. Looks like some substitutions are coming on in. Rose. 4-3. Rare three for Rose. Defense was ready. Moutier into the front court. His guys trail by 13. Slam dunk.
An easy two. Get back on defense.
Now a timeout here for the Timberwolves as their coach wants to get a word in with his guys here in this third quarter. That's a 5-second violation. Moutier. No good. Covington to Wiggins. Add 2 points to the board.
Sometimes when the players find that flow, nobody else needs to touch the ball. He's in the zone by himself.
Moutier with it up top. His guys currently down by 13. Screen coming to Moutier. Had a good look there, but it's no good. On the follow. Way to stay with it.
But, Ed, you have to give Coach Fizdale, Scott Perry, and Steve Mills, and everybody in the New York Knicks organization a lot of credit for drafting this young man. He just turned 19 and hasn't even begun to scratch the surface of how talented he is. Shoots the ball very similar to Allen Houston. That's the cap. That's the highest level, but also possesses the ability to put the ball down on the ground and finish over the top of the trees. There's no doubt about it. Between him and Porzingis, the Knicks are well on their way.
To Kevin Knox. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
And I love the smile on the face of the offensive player. Sometimes luck is on your side. I don't know how that shot went in, but and one.
Time for some new personnel into the game. Missed the foul shot. To Rose. And he's fouled. Nice move that time, and he's going to the line for two.
Love the fact that the shooter created contact on the upward motion to shoot the basketball. Big time play.
First one goes down. Able to convert on both free throws. Possession lies with New York. Trey Burke against Andrew Wiggins. To Hardaway. Kevin Knox. Sizing up the defense. Not that time. Send it away.
Did you see how far he got up? He kept going up and up and up. I think he's still going up.
Hardaway. Going to launch beyond the arc. Misfires. It's no good. Rose into the front court. His team on top by 13. Has a chance, and he drains it.
2 points. Take them any way you can get them.
Derrick Rose.
Burke with it. He'll run the offense. And count the basket inside.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Rose to Towns. Off the assist.
It just seems like nobody can stop him but him. Once he's found his offensive swag, that boy's deadly.
Burke with it. Looking to make something happen. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
As my mother would say to the defender, A for effort, F for results.
Rose. Don't dare this guy. Derrick Rose, wide open, knocks it down.
And it just seems like the defense has lethargic closeouts. You need to close out with more of a sense of urgency. Run them off the three-point line. Make them take a tough two rather than an easy three.
The assist from number 23.
Minnesota at the controls. Rose to Towns. Wiggins. Count it. Three-pointer is good.
For average shooters, that's not a great shot. But for a great shooter, that's a good look.
Now their head coach signals for a timeout. He'll gather the troops and talk things over. Switching gears, David Fizdale makes the move to his bench. Moutier, guarded by Derrick Rose. Into traffic, but no good.
That's superb defense. That's a defense getting there from the weak side early and making the player short arm a shot.
Calls out of bounds off of Andrew Wiggins.
Lockup time.
Get the cameras out. Flash on.
That's going to make a nice poster.
To Covington. And he hits.
Well, the shooting has been spectacular, but one of the things that I've seen as the difference maker in this ball game is how they are catching the basketball. They're not establishing a pivot foot, which leaves the defense wondering which way you can drive. But when that shot is working like that, you got it any way you want it.
Rose into the front court. His guys up by 15. On a pass stolen by the Knicks.
You go back to the principles, things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade. It's called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to... Oh! And he can't keep it in off the block.
Man, that was impressive. Rose. To Covington. Towns. That's out of bounds. Last touch by the Knicks. Covington. The Wolves down to 4 in the shot clock. That misses with 2 seconds to go. 3 quarters down. The Timberwolves enjoying the advantage. The Wolves with the basketballs. We start the fourth quarter. You figured they certainly had the advantage coming into this one. Jay, that's how it's played out.
On paper, this wasn't set up to be much of a contest. If the crowd could have gotten into it early, maybe. But sometimes a team is so good that you never had a chance to even start.
To Cantor. And his Cantor. Small sample size, but making the most of it. He's 1 for 2.
Underutilized, underutilized, underutilized. Am I getting my point across? Let's see more of that.
Rose. Not that time. He missed it. And the finish at the rim.
Not always the first option, but his number was definitely called on that one.
T gets a look, can't hit. Oh, he had it. To Towns. Has a look. It's good.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in a defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row, and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
Great look and vision. And his Cantor above the rim.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
To Towns. And he finishes at the rim.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created.